Hello, this is Matthew, and welcome to part 2 in the video series on automating the installation of Linux in Hercules so that you too can run Linux for Big Iron at the touch of a button. If you've not seen part 1, I recommend you go back and check that out, even if you just skip through it quickly. I am working with Moshix from the Moshix mainframe channel on this video series, so you will see our initial exploration, looking at how to get the installation media created, starting up a manual installation just to make sure that our environment is right, and then our initial attempts at putting together a pre-seed file and figuring out how to bundle that up into the initrd, the initial RAM disk that the Linux kernel will load when we IPL the installation process. So that first video was recorded at the same time this video is recorded, so we will pick up right where we left off and just dive right in. And I will say this video, video number 2, really more so than the previous video and more than the next final video 3 will be when we present the final set of scripts and configurations that we came up with. This video really is just more of a working session, and you're just hearing Moshix and I talk to each other as we really troubleshoot how to do what we're trying to do with the pre-seed file. So you can put this on in the background if you're interested just in, what went into this and the back and forth and having to fix something, retry, realize it's not quite fixed, try and fix it again, retry. It's just an iterative process as we troubleshoot and debug and try to get toward the pre-seed file that will work. Again, we'll just dive back in right where we left off, and I hope you enjoy just kind of seeing how this process worked. Let's try this again. Anyway, I used an actual, I have a little, those Swiss Micros clones of HP calculators. I have the
I have those too.
the 16L, which is a programmer's calculator. So it actually has an easy decimal to hex and hex to decimal conversion button. That's what I was using. But for automation, there are, of course, ways to do that, from a shell script. So we'll be able to update the initrd file, read the new size, and then update the size file with the hex value as appropriate when we actually automate all of that.
So did you get already the new Swiss Micro 41 in vertical format?
I didn't get that one. It's cool, but that one doesn't particularly interest me. I have an actual HP, several actual HP scientific calculators.
Yep, me too.
So I use the real things, but for that cool HP computer scientist calculator, the 16L, I've not been able to get a real one of those. They're quite the collectible item. So the Swiss Micro works great.
I have one on my desk.
Oh, cool.
And the nice thing, which everybody else leaves out, is you can set the word size, because you need obviously the word size to have a correct indication of the hex or octal conversion.
Yeah, it's a really well thought out calculator for, programmers, especially if you're doing assembly programming and everything, where you really are working with, the real words in memory and hex values and all of that. So, so far so good. It read our initrd.
Yep, freeing unused memory, so that worked fine.
Yep. This mount media not found thing is a message I see in a lot of Debian and Ubuntu installations, so I'm not too worried about that yet. I don't remember seeing that when we did a manual install, but maybe it just scrolled by when it started asking our other questions.
Yeah, and this could be, you don't really see the standard error on the installer, but I'm heartened by the fact that it says CTCM driver initialized. So clearly, this is what we also saw when we did it manually. So that's very good.
Yep. It sees our hardware. It's obviously thinking about something here.
Well, yeah, I'm wondering. There's no I/O, so it's unpacking something.
Yeah. I think, I wonder. I'm curious if we can connect to. if we can watch it happen. Okay, so it's not running the SSH server.
No. Do you have iptraf installed?
Okay. So it's asking for, oh, we never gave it a host name.
Yep.
Okay, so host name. So it'll ask for a host name and it'll ask for a domain name. So we need to precede those two values.
Which of course means we have to recalculate everything.
Yeah, we're going to need to redo it again, but we expected
may have
that.
a script at some point that does that. So now I think we will be able to SSH in.
Yeah, it's starting the SSH server now. So let me make a note here. Host name, domain name. And we'll see if it tells us to connect. Yep. So let's connect. Okay, so it stopped processing.
That's not good.
Which is not good. That means it's waiting for some kind of input. So let's go over there and maybe it's just asking a question now. Oh, we're going to need to do that again.
Yep.
Whoops, why didn't, oh, there we go. SSH keygen. Okay. Yes. What did I set this password to? It was like
password or install.
Let's look in our precede file. Yeah, it's under, whoops, not Vim. Vim, Ubuntu 18, boot temp, precede, install pass. We're close.
Yeah.
One, install pass.
Yeah.
Right, so it needs, okay, so
to start install.
The prompt is network console options. So network console option start installer. So I just hit enter there. There we go. Okay. An error is detected while trying to use the archive mirror. Okay. So it could be, let's see, var log, syslog, mirror's broken. So something about the mirror.
I think it doesn't want that dash at the beginning. Because we put in the precede, we put a dash, as far as I remember.
Let's take a look.
For Ubuntu dashboards, I think it has a dash at the beginning.
Oh.
Ports. Yeah, I don't think it wants that dash you see in the line
below. Oh, this slash here?
Slash, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a string, right? And it just copies that string.
US.ports, so manual US ports, Ubuntu.
But it's very, very good that it automatically set up the networking.
So yeah, so let's try, so we can say us.ports.ubuntu.com.
And that's what it finds. And so so we need to remove that slash.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it with the slash really quick, just for.
But like this, it's really easy to debug because we can see exactly what values it finds in the precede.
Yeah, I'm curious about, it didn't pre-fill in the host name though.
And we provided it? I didn't see it.
I think, yeah, we provided it in.
For the initial part.
Yeah, mirror HTTP host name us.ports.ubuntu.com. And then, oh, you know what? We're missing the string. I bet that was why it didn't work. Let's see. Let's look at Hercules. Okay, yeah, so now it's.
Yeah, now it's on IO.
It's probably extracting the archive it downloaded from there.
We can shut it down now, I guess.
Yep. Okay. Well, I guess this next step takes a little while. So yeah, we can.
For the meantime, we could work on the precede and see how far this goes before it bombs out again.
Yeah. Because again, yeah, one approach here is that we can now try and get through a complete install and see what other questions it prompts for. Or we can fix the ones we know about here and then go on. But you're right. While that's working, let's go.
So the slash belongs in there, so we know that.
Yeah, I think the slash is okay. It probably works both ways. It's probably just building a full HTTP URL, but we'll leave that. We were missing the word string.
Yeah.
We were missing host name
And domain.
And domain name, which I'm guessing are under netconfig. Actually, let me. I'm just going to guess that it's host name. We'll call it zLinux. And whoops. Domain name, I'm guessing, is domain name.
Yeah.
And I just left that blank.
So yeah, it's get host name string and then host name, and get domain string and domain.
So get, oh, I don't want name server.
Get host name string, get domain string.
Just domain, not domain name.
Not name, just
okay.
Domain.
Get domain. And let's see, I'll change this. Is that the existing pre-seed you're looking at?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, again, I don't know if the get version or the non-get version, so I'll just put both of them in. Okay, so that's hostname, domain name. So then, yeah, network console option, that. So network console password. Let's Google for network console. Pre-seed network console.
Yeah.
VGA network, using the network console, pre-seed file to activate, choose modules. It's none of those. I mean, in a way, we don't want the network console. I mean, I kind of do, because I want to see, obviously,
for now, yes,
the progress go by. But I wonder if just having it enabled. Well, no, I mean, it's still, it must be.
Okay, so I see here, choose modules.
Yep.
String network console, and then early command. Early command string Anna install network console. What is this Anna?
I think Anna is the Debian installer code name or something.
Yeah. Network console authorized keys. Network console root, which we have.
Yeah.
So is this, it's early command, I think. That's the one.
I think early command just lets you run a shell command.
Oh.
Do we still, we'd have to boot back into TK Ubuntu.
To see.
Yeah. I wonder if we just search for network console, if we'll see the option for that.
We should have SSH did that.
I was going to say, I should have kept the file. Let's look at, okay, yeah, this is still doing stuff. Okay, do you want to go ahead and stop this one? We'll go back into TK Ubuntu, see if we can find any other network console commands, and then we'll rebuild with these updates.
I wish we could see if it goes past the partitioning.
I know, yeah, me too.
Because that's one area where we just don't know how it's going to behave.
Yep. Yep.
retrieving partman exe3, but it's still far off from partitioning.
Yep.
And we haven't seen any traffic on the FBA, have we, on the Hercules console?
I doubt. Yeah, it won't start touching that until it's actually at the partitioning stage. You want to switch over to that? Yep.
Yeah,
one IO to detect it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have to sense it.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, I would say let's shut it down. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's grab that value. Either way, we would need to, wait through it again to see what's happening. So let's just do that. That's going to do the friendly shutdown, which, actually, that was pretty quick.
It just kills everything.
Yeah, sensing term, sensing kill. But that's Linux doing that, right? It received the Hercules quit command, and then Linux reacted to that signal from Hercules. All right, let's try this again. So we go to boot temp, and I've already let's check. Is this the one we fixed? Yes, I probably want to keep this
we have the domain name
in something other than just what I call a temp directory. We'll put this back in try1 to keep a copy of it. So we need to start over. Okay, with the original. So I kept the original around. So let's copy the original to initrd.gz, gunzip that. Precedes there, so echo. Oh, we did it from a different terminal, didn't we? Echo precede -o-h new c -a -f initrd
sudo.
There we go. And then we re-gzip initrd.
Yep.
And I'll move it over top of the initrd.ubuntu.
I get the size.
Yep. So initrd.ubuntu is now not octal. 13509.559 to hex CE23B7. So we can just edit the init size new again. CE23B7. XXD-R init d size dot new overwrite init dot size.
Yep.
And that should do it. Okay, but before we do that again, we'll start up TKBuntu. And then we'll look for the network console
line.
Start installer option. We'll just see what settings are available there.
I'll maybe make a copy down.
And we can pull a copy of it so that we don't need to boot back into it if we hit any more questions. Well, this is promising so far. I think we'll be able to do this, and it can indeed be fully automated, I suspect.
Yeah, we'll get there. Getting the preseed right is everything. Everything else is child's play.
Yeah, once we have a correct preseed file, it's just a matter of writing the shell script that'll do this manipulation of the initrd and all of that. But that's easy.
Well, we don't. Once we have that, we don't even have to change the initrd anymore, because I mean, we're going to go with standard values for host name and everything, right? I mean,
I guess the
password.
One question would be, do we want to prompt the user for the password? Right. The other thing, so I think what the script will do is it will download the original Ubuntu CD from Ubuntu, mount it, copy the files out, and then that's where we'll have to modify the initRD to place our pre-seed file into it.
Yes.
And then set up Hercules to IPL from that directory, and it should be automated from there.
Yeah.
Let's look back here. See if we're far enough along. Of course, we'll need to remove the...
It's TK Ubuntu.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Wrong username. We'll still need to do that. TK Ubuntu. There it is. TK Ubuntu. Yep. Okay, it was the file here.
Let's see what the line is before we copy that.
Yeah, let's just look right now. So it'll be network console. Start note.
Well, this was...
There it is. Select start installer.
Yes, but this was a manual installation, right?
Well, yes, but the question... Right, we need it to start the installer so that it then continues automatically answering the questions.
Yes.
Right, so this will get us past that prompt of start installer export mode, or start shell.
We select.
That line... Oh, of course, we should have done this before I gzipped all of this, but that's okay. We can...
It would be good to just put this into a little bash script.
Yeah. Okay, network console, start installer. Perfect. We can format this file nicely in what we actually ship, but this will be good for now. Keep an archive of that. And we'll copy this whole file out of here. So pre-seed installer text. Yep, so that'll be SCP TK Ubuntu at 10.1.1.2 pre-seed installer text to TK Ubuntu pre-seed values.
Yep.
That should work.
TK Ubuntu, and that's it.
Great. Okay.
Now we can just quit.
Now we can.
Yeah.
This is the TK Ubuntu box. Yep. Okay. Don't want to shut down the outer host we're actually running on here.
But yeah, we have to be really careful.
So that sounds like something I would do, just blindly typing shutdown now onto any command prompt I see. Okay, we're disconnected. And
so particularly on ZVM, the shutdown command actually very easily goes through to the most to the ZVM closest to the hardware when you're running nested ZVM.
Oh yeah, you accidentally shut down the actual mainframe that thousands of people are running their VMs on.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why in the configuration of guest machines in ZVM, you can pass it different special characters to talk to the CP because
so you don't end up just accidentally using the standard escape characters. That would make for a bad day to accidentally do that. Okay, we already put that in, so that's good. We'll do our little process here of copying the initRD Ubuntu original to initRD.gz. Now I should have, it's in command history now. So pre-seed config to our initRD. I'll have to go back and watch this video to remember everything we need to do in the the shell script that does this. I can't tell you how many times I go back and watch my own videos up on YouTube to remember how I did something, right? It's like I should write this stuff down for quicker access, but it's all there in the video.
I have the same exact experience. I have to watch my own videos to get the things done. But at least I know it's in the video. Sometimes I don't even remember exactly.
It's like, wait, did I do that in a video yet or not?
How many videos do you think you have out there?
I'm only around
40?
30.
You have about 10 on OS 400.
Yeah. Let's see. What am I doing here?
4 in 6th gen. Another 4 or 5 on OpenVMS.
Ubuntu. That's what I want. Okay, that's our new number.
Yep.
1350959 to hex CE23C1. So not an
I'm already
NID.
thinking how we extract this number and convert it to hex in the shell script.
Yeah, if DC is installed, you can do it with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just have to look at the commands there, and that'll.
Or I may just write a little C program that does it, so we can include it.
Yeah, it's more likely someone would have DC installed than a C compiler, maybe. But well, although they are, yeah, we'll cross.
We can just provide the binary. You know.
We can cross that bridge. It may be possible to do it entirely with shell arithmetic. I'd have to see if there's a shell arithmetic operator that can do it, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay, initRD, yeah, size.new CE23C1, and then XXD new to the original.
Oh yeah, printf of course does it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Just the printf built in will be perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, back to try one and Hercules. APL Ubuntu 18 boot. No, just ubuntu.ins.
Yep.
So this should at least get us.
The host name?
We did the host name, we did the domain, and we did the network
start install.
Start console option start installer.
Okay. I think we've come quite far.
Yeah. So again, this will get us to, or it should get us, through the downloading all the initial installer packages step before we can get to that next critical step of partition the disk.
No TPM chip found.
You think?
Yeah. On the mainframe, go searching for it. Multimedia not found. We already had that.
Yeah.
I spoke to somebody who worked, in fact, his name is Jay Maynard, who used to be the maintainer of Hercules, and about the speed of mainframes like in the 80s and with the real, disks and the real tapes. And it would take about an hour to make a dump of a DASD, of a 3380 DASD onto tape. So if before you were installing things, you needed to make a dump just in case something went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And if something did go wrong, as it often did, it was an hour to write, about 45 minutes to read it back in. So 2 hours would go by for a wrong line.
Yeah, just one little mistake, and you're having to do your cycle time of a couple of hours. Look at that. All right. So no more questions at this stage. So that's good.
What happens?
But there's still no activity. So is that because it's loading?
It stopped again.
Yeah, so it did stop. So let's look at that. We'll have to SSH back in. In fact, we already know we need to run this command, so that's the same. And yes, and install pass. I'll be curious if it's still just sitting on that select installer mode. Oh, connection closed. That's new. Well, I'm going to hit enter to continue, which I think means hit dot enter.
So this can be automated. And now it picked up again. So, okay. So what it wants, the SSH doesn't help anymore.
Yeah, so when we want the automated, we may just not be able to use that SSH console.
So what was that command? Let's copy it.
Well, so it says basically press enter to continue. But I think if we just, in the pre-seed, we'll tell it not to use the network console at all, and I think it'll just skip this whole thing.
Yeah, or we automated, yeah. But now it stopped again.
Yeah, so it's asking for proxy information, so we need to pre-seed with a blank HTTP proxy. Okay, yeah, let me copy this out. So what you're saying is this SSH installer stuff, we could use Hercules console automation to do the enter to continue if we need to.
Yeah, basically take it on from here.
Yeah.
We could even provide those values, but of course we're going to fix the pre-seed.
Yeah, we'll fix the pre-seed. And again, we should be able to just tell the pre-seed not to use this SSH console installation method at all.
Yeah.
Let me just make a note here. Where was I keeping some other notes? Let's just add it to C2C pre-seed notes. Prompt to hit enter after SSH starts. Looked like that.
Yeah. And there's that space at the front that kind of worries me a little bit.
Yeah. Space. Oh yeah, space. Press enter to continue. Okay, so we don't need an HTTP proxy. So blank for none.
Let's see what happens next.
So it still says bad archive mirror.
Huh.
Possible reasons for the error. Incorrect mirror specified. Mirror is not available. We can't get to Virtual Console for our or var syslog. Well, let's... Okay, so now it's going to ask us to enter the mirror information again. Yeah. So let's look over at that other pre-seed file we archived.
Yeah.
And look at all the mirror stuff. Multiverse. Okay, so this is the blank proxy line we need to add.
Yeah.
Ubuntu. Oh, it's HTTPS.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Apt mirror setup. Somewhere there's going to be mirror host name, and I bet it's. I know mirror protocol select HTTP.
Yeah. What?
Mirror directory. Oh, HTTP directory. Okay, so both are in there. HTTPS hostname mirror. Maybe we just need all of this.
Yeah.
Well, there's no FTP proxy. Use mirror.
Boolean,
but no value. This is, do we want the contrib? Do we want non-free? Launchpad.
Okay, Launchpad. What was it?
Did we go back to the beginning? I don't remember. Ubuntu archive.
CC ports.
That's interesting.
Huh. And it's HTTPS.
Yeah, it seems to be a mix of there's backports, mirror countries. Okay, let's do this.
Yeah, and then we get those lines.
Yeah, and in fact, let's egrep-v.
Yes.
Starts with pound. Oh, that didn't work. Whoa.
One of these days, I'll have to write a book, egrep 101 Weeding Strategies.
Yeah. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong here.
Yeah.
The file goes to the first one that I'm doing. Mirror. Okay, that's what I wanted. So we'll set the proxies to blank, and we'll set the directory for HTTPS. Yeah, it has HTTPS and HTTP directory and HTTPS host name, HTTPS mirror, HTTP
And
proxy.
Ubuntu ports. Oh, select Bionic. That's the thing.
That's probably default. Right, it's having trouble even talking to the mirror, so I'm thinking it's... let me look. Hold on, let me look in one of my other pre-seed files really quick. Mirror settings. Yeah, I just use mirror HTTP hostname string and mirror HTTP directory string.
Huh.
And that's it. That's interesting. Okay, well, let's look back. I'm on session 3. Let's look in session 2.
Yeah, that's manual. So I think we had GB here in the other one for Great Britain.
Yeah, manual's fine because we're providing explicit values. HTTP
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
host name, mirror HTTP directory. So let's try putting in the HTTPS values as well.
Maybe when I did it, it was still supported just HTTP, and now it's only HTTPS.
Well, the one we were looking at has both.
Has both, yeah. But I'm saying is maybe there's no more. Yeah.
So string, and I'm assuming. Let me try. I'm just going to try this in a browser really quickly. So HTTPS us.ports.ubuntu.com/ubuntu-ports/ unable to connect. Yeah, that server doesn't run HTTPS. But CC does. Okay. So that explains why CC was in that config file as well for some reason. So I'm going to change this to
capital CC.
Well, yeah, I tried lowercase.
It shouldn't matter, but it was capitalized.
It shouldn't matter. You're right. It was capitalized in the other file.
Yeah.
So that's...
Okay. And I guess we have to remove... Oh, so I think it tries... That's why we have both. It tries one, and if it doesn't find one, it goes to the other.
Yeah, I don't know why this HTTP one wouldn't have worked, though, but that's a mystery.
But then I guess we'll have to remove it, right?
No, because I think it's really the one it actually installs from. This is confusing. I have an Ubuntu pre-seed file here, and the only 3 lines I have are these 3.
Oh, really?
And however, it was probably for like Ubuntu 20, so it's not necessarily a fair comparison. Let's see what else we have over here.
And then we need the proxy, right?
Yes, proxy we need. So that we can just copy over as is.
Yeah, as it is. Yeah.
We'll put that up. We'll put that up here. Anything else look interesting? We now have both HTTP and HTTPS directory.
So I'm confused. They're now starting to be so similar. Which one is this? This is the new one, right?
This is the one from TKBuntu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So in fact, I can name
the session
TKBuntu pre-seed. There we go.
Yeah.
So no default protocol. Mirror protocol select HTTP.
So it goes to HTTP.
That is not in our file. So let's put that in our file, and then maybe it will use our HTTP settings.
But we just tried and they couldn't connect. Oh, but you tried with HTTPS.
Well, remember, it worked after I manually typed it in last
With
time.
HTTP?
HTTP. So it may be that the default is not HTTP, and so the fact that we were providing HTTP values wasn't good enough. And we'll leave this in here just to be safe. Anything else? Countries, yeah, that's fine. Okay, we added proxy, so that'll get us past the proxy step. Proposed. Oh, apt setup lines are different. Okay. So the other thing I want to do, can we tell it not to run the network console at all?
Yeah, but we won't find it from.
Yeah, we won't find it from the existing. So what's in here? It's network device, network device. We have the network console login stuff. Let's comment that out.
Oh, you mean, yeah.
Console, that's a different console setup. So on other platforms, there's something you need to do to explicitly enable it. But I wonder if in the zLinux build, it's on by default, and so we need to do something explicit to disable it.
Because you kind of, that's almost the only option.
Right. So Debian installer, network console.
Well, on the ZVM, you can provide, it's very similar to the Hercules console that we have now. So you would give it, you would just pass on the strings in the VM guest console.
Yeah.
And that's how most people install Linux on the mainframe, is on the ZVM.
Let me, was it network console? Yeah, network console. Activating network console. I'm looking at a page that I think you saw earlier. This early command, Anna install network console.
Yes, yeah.
We almost need to disable that.
Disable it, yeah. I have the same one.
Network console, start, select, continue. We already did that. To select the continue button in the start template of network console. Network console password. So there's a couple of things we might be able to try here. Let me copy that. So if we look, where do we have network console? Oh, I commented those out.
Yeah.
So there's that early command I'm seeing in some things that says Anna install network console. I wonder if we don't say network console, right? If that's in there by default, if this will end up overriding the default and not running the network console.
Yeah, you think the pound is...
I can delete it entirely to be safe, yeah.
Wow.
The other possibility, there's this line I'm seeing. This might be what we need. Network console start, select, continue.
Oh, yeah.
That may be that press enter to continue line. So I wonder if we want to try it without like that line, leave this stuff up, and just see if it continues at that point where it says press enter to continue.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then, I'm worried about the fact that an SSH install always just relaunches again the installer. You know what I mean? Just because we're SSHing into the install at 10.1.1.2, that it will just each time just launch the installer.
You mean after it's installed or just during the installation?
Let's say that it's running. Let's say that we have it as it is right now, the preseed, and now it's running. And then because we're doing an SSH just to check, it will relaunch again the installer.
I don't know. Yeah, well, remember when I tried SSHing in this last time, it just immediately kicked me out.
Okay, so it's smart enough, you think? Okay.
I mean, I'd love it if when we SSH'd in, it just showed us the progress of the in.
Yeah,
Right,
that
the
would
right
be
install,
hard
but
to
I don't
do.
know. I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah.
So let's try this. If this doesn't work, then we can try this line that just maybe doesn't run the network console at all. But hopefully something like this will work. Okay, where are we? So let me copy this again to our try1 directory.
Ubuntu 18.04.
And then we'll do our rigmarole here. Let me switch back to the console that has our... Okay, yeah, so this is a no-go.
Yeah.
Ubuntu 18.04 boot temp. Copy the original initrd. I could probably somewhat script this at this point, but that's okay. Dot original to initrd.gz, gunzip that. Remember to make it writable this time.
Yep.
And let me just verify that this is our new one. Yep.
Yeah.
So now preseed into that file. Ooh, we're up to 9 blocks now. Read gzip that. Move that over our initrd.ubuntu.
Get the size.
Okay. So you're saying, this should work. If I printf %x and then I give it 1350961. Yep. And we can do that a little nicer. There we go.
Yeah.
CE2409. So, yep, I have that in my initrd size. Actually, I'm curious if I just echo CE2409 to XXD reverse, that doesn't work. I need to say 0. CE. Oh, but it needs to be a.
Differently. Yeah.
Sorry, let me. So we would do. I think this would be 08X. Is that the? If we XXD the initrd dot size. Yeah, it's a. So we can do 00000000 colon. I wonder if it actually needs the spaces. We'll see.
Yeah, I think so too.
Is that correct? CE2409. Okay, so yeah, so that survives the round trip.
32 bits, yeah.
So that is the command we'll want.
Yeah, let's write it down somewhere.
Yeah. So in fact, we would say to the initrd.size. And of course, we would have to substitute in the right number here, but that's fine. So if we copy that, let me put that in our... I'll just put it to the bottom of this notes file. And we'll call this the install automation notes. Okay.
We actually, I called it exactly the same way.
Okay, that is ready for our next attempt, right?
Yep.
And the IPL from Ubuntu 18, ubuntu.ins. So we know we get at least as far as the installer starting. Hopefully it will now continue on its own.
Yep, we're getting there.
Yep.
And this is no different if you want to automate it on Intel or any other architecture, the installation of Debian or Ubuntu. People will probably have to go through anywhere from 4 to 10 to 20 different steps or attempts before they have the perfect matching preseat for their own case. And everybody just have to build their own preseat for their own particular use case.
Yeah, when I was building mine for my x86 VMs, right, it's the same thing. You put in the settings you think you need, and then you try the install, and it asks you a question. You're like,
yeah,
oh darn, I forgot an answer that it considers required, and you do it again. And the good news is it turns around a little bit more quickly running on native hardware. But this actually isn't too bad. Just having it IPL these early stages to get it going. So
we still have to see how it behaves around the partitioning and formatting.
Yeah. And I'm wondering, on x86, it has those grub questions at the end, like, do you want to install the bootloader, those kinds of things. I wonder if there is an equivalent, it won't be grub, but is there a question at the end of the installer saying, do you want to install the boot configuration on a particular DASD device? And we'll need to say, oh, yeah, right, put it in the file system on DASDA. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll probably see it in the preseat that we downloaded from the TK Ubuntu at the very end. If you search for DASD.
Yeah, in fact, well, actually, I want to just stay looking at this. The anticipation's killing me. I was going to say we can just search everywhere that DASDA is referenced in that other one and see if there's anything obvious that perhaps we missed. But
okay, so that's good. LCLCA, that's the network interface card.
Yep.
Inside zLinux.
Generate SSH host key. So that we've seen before. And kind of the moment of truth on this pass will be, does it sit there and say, press enter to continue, or does it dive right in and do something? Or, if it doesn't ask us to hit enter to continue, but then it does show us the mirror error again, at least we'll have gotten one step farther.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's exactly what it did. So it did not ask us to press enter to continue.
But it stopped on something.
But it still stopped on... it actually stopped on HTTP proxy, which I thought we answered that question.
It did.
Well, so let's just hit enter for blank proxy. Yeah, and it still says bad archive mirror. So...
Yep, bad archive mirror.
So what's going on here? Well, so it's possible that the network isn't working. We don't really have a good way to test that right now.
Well, we can ping. First of all, see if we can ping into it.
Well, we can try to SSH into it.
Yeah.
So the network between it and Linux is working.
Yeah. Doesn't mean necessarily it's reverse, but
we don't know if it's able to get out to
but
the
then
internet.
It would point more towards the DNS issue.
It's possible the DNS server isn't being set. It's possible the default gateway isn't being set correctly. Yeah, we can't get into the installer at all.
Can we look at if we have a spelling or something when it comes to the...
Yeah, we'll double check that. Let me see. Whoops. .1. US ports Ubuntu com. Okay, so it's picking up the right values at that point.
So that...
I bet it's a network problem. I wonder, I don't know if there's any way to get to a shell from here. Execute a shell. Okay. Okay. Aha.
BusyBox. Amazing BusyBox.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
So
minus C1
I was
always.
going to say I'm stuck forever, right?
You're stuck forever now, yeah.
So that part works. So it could just be a name server thing, which unfortunately I don't think I can fake this. That worked.
Wow.
That's good to know. Okay.
Very good to know.
I
On
really
the
didn't
VPN,
expect
you
that
don't
to
have
work.
that.
I was
It
just
runs forever.
desperate. There it is. Unknown. Sorry. .ping. www.google.com. No, that works too.
Huh.
So
let's look at the network configuration if you do an ifconfig.
Yeah. So .ifconfig.
No, there's no ifconfig. I think it's only IPA.
Oh, yeah. The legacy tools probably aren't installed. Yeah. .ipa. So that's the correct 10.1.1.2.
It is.
US dot mirror. I've already forgot. US dot ports. Ubuntu.com. Yeah.
Is there a wget in BusyBox?
There is.
Oh, wow.
us.ports.ubuntu.com/ubuntu-ports. Yeah.
Did we set Bionic? That's the one thing.
Maybe that's the problem. Yeah.
BusyBox always amazes me. It's an unbelievable tool.
Well, I wonder. Oh, which isn't, or it doesn't handle which though.
Yeah, because
I wonder if it's actual wget. It is actual wget. It's not just built into BusyBox, but still, yeah, that's nice that it's all available here. Okay, yeah. So the port selection, it may be that it's not selecting the Bionic subdirectory under Ubuntu ports.
So let's try, because that's the one thing we haven't tried yet.
So we saw that in Bionic mirror code name Bionic.
It almost looks like it really needs it, because
yeah, I mean, again, you'd think in this version of Ubuntu the code name would be built into it, but yeah, I can't think of anything else. So let's look at our
Bionic is 1804, right? Yeah. So
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Maybe it's the same installer for 16 and 14 and 18, because it changed with 2004, right? It completely changed.
They use the new style installer unless you really try to get the nice old one.
I don't like. I have to tell you, I don't like the new 2004 installer at all.
Yeah, I like just the good old Debian installer.
It always tries to force people into a live update, which is ugly.
So I'm going to comment out the HTTPS
completely
lines, just so we don't get confused. That's good. That's good. And then we added mirror code name Bionic.
But should we put it?
I don't think order matters on any of these.
It just sources it as a
yeah. I guess just kind of logical order here. Okay.
We really need to make a script.
Right. Where are we? Let's, again, I'm just going to keep a safe copy over in our try1 directory. So copy. Yep. And then gzip She unzip that, and then CPIO that. Right. Right. CPIO to that. Re-gzip it. Yep. Gzip that guy.
I'll get the size.
And the init to init RD Ubuntu. That command is correct. Init RD Ubuntu, and then I should have my magic printf line here where we just type in that number.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting better at this.
Yeah, some automation.
Exactly. Hercules.
Okie dokie.
Okay, I feel good about this one. And that is ubuntu.ins. Let it do its thing.
So what we see here is something that's very interesting about Hercules. So it says here about 6 lines down, CPU model 2086 does not technically support transactional execution facility. And that's something that's very peculiar to Hercules. It can mix and match all kind of architectural facilities because we can, because it's just software. In hardware, you can't do that. And so that's why, for instance, when we run MVS 3.8, we have some instructions that came much later than MVS 3.8. And that's one of the nice things about Hercules. We can mix and match what we want to have.
And even add new instructions that don't exist in the real world, which is convenient, right? That's how the TCP/IP works for the free MVS 3.8, right? An operating system that never knew what IP was, let alone being able to run an FTP server or a web server. But through the creativity in the Hercules community, you can just kind of make up instructions that allow you to do that kind of thing, and then use them from the guest operating systems.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like in the last 2-3 years, the community, hobbyist community around the mainframe for MVS, VM370, zLinux, and other operating systems has really grown in strength tremendously. There's so many new additions and so much creativity and innovation coming out from the community lately. It's quite astounding.
Yeah, it's really impressive. And I don't know, a lot of activity on mailing lists seem to have died down, kind of as Yahoo groups languished. And most of the mailing lists are still active, and they're over on groups.io now. But things like the Mainframe Enthusiast Discord server have really brought together a lot of interesting people doing interesting things as well. So I think that helps, just in terms of, once people get into the community, they're now, more aware of a lot of the stuff that is going on, which motivates them to look into things and play some more. So it really is a sort of renaissance of the late 70s, early 80s mainframe world.
Yeah, and I think what also happened is kind of a shift in culture towards the modern let's get this working, let me help you, open-minded, sharing everything, versus the kind of the older mainframe culture, which is like, go read the manual, don't bother me, I know everything better. But we're stuck again.
So it's prompting us for HTTP proxy. We need to double check that setting. And we're still getting bad archive mirror.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that we know we can get a shell, let's look at var log syslog and see what it says.
Yep.
So what was that? Dot previous step. Yep. And then dot 8. It's going to be var log syslog.
Var log.
So dot cat var log syslog.
This shell.
Mir does not support the specified release Bionic. That's interesting.
Oh, does it have to be a Bionic S390X?
I wonder.
Code architectures, yeah. Suite, code, name, architectures.
Let's see. Can I okay, so locale preceded set locale chooser setting debconf locale. Okay, so that's oh yeah, menu item choose mirror selected.
So
then,
it's that suite code architectures that makes it a URL that cannot be resolved.
Yeah. So what does this look like? Let's copy that over to here. And then that's just going to output it to standard out.
Oh, release minus O. Suite code architectures.
What window did I do this in? There we go. Shift V. Okay, so, and then it was looking for something about Suite. Well, Suite Bionic is there.
And then architectures.
Yeah. And S390X is there. Bionic S390X.
But you see there's also, Mir does not support the specified release.
Any Suite Symlinks.
Unable to resolve host address. So the host address is still wrong. That's where it fails.
Where are you seeing that?
4 lines.
I see. Unable to resolve host. Oh, blank. It's just passing through a blank.
And we are probably giving it that blank.
No, because I mean, it knows to go to us.ports, but it's
host address.
Right. It's trying to extract. Let's look at what that file looks like again. What are all of these?
Yeah, there's going to be thousands of those.
Yeah. How do I get out of this mode? I can never remember. Escape. There we go. Okay, that'll do. Which one was that? That was okay. So Suite. Yeah, Suite is Bionic. Let's just write this to foo.
There's an URL there at the beginning. Did you see that?
Bionic 1804 S390X. And then it's just all of these. Yeah, I'm not sure what's wrong.
But you see there's this URL. That I think is wrong. You see 3 lines from where you are, 3 lines above.
The URL, http us.ports.
Yeah. That URL, I'm not too sure about because it says URL at the beginning. Is it supposed to say that?
That's wget telling me what it's going to download.
Oh, okay.
That was a Debbie. I wonder. Oh wait, no. It knows to look in Ubuntu ports /dists/bionic/release because that's
built the string. Yes.
Right. So it's using our mir host name and mir directory Ubuntu ports, and then it knows to append dists bionic release.
Like it's not building that string correctly. that line there where it says get no verbose HTTP US ports, us.ports.ubuntu.com/Ubuntu ports, dists, Bionic, release -O. I mean,
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes, but if it literally tries to get that, then of course there's a space in there, a -O.
Well, yeah. So the minus. So this is the flag to wget saying output to file, and then the blank dash is standard out, and then it's grep. It's piping all of that to whoops. It's piping all of that to the grep command looking for the suite name. So if we say right, I think there's a pipe here that doesn't get any translated correctly in the Hercules console.
Yeah. I think it wants like single quotes or something.
And then architecture name that to there. Right, so this is the command it's running.
Yeah.
And that's a good valid wget command, and then it's piping it to grep. And it's not getting I bet this is actually I bet these are pipes, because that makes sense as a regular expression.
Yes.
Yeah, Suite Bionic, codename Bionic, architectures, S390X is there. So that is what that command is getting. And then it says, warning, Mir does not support the specified release Bionic.
But it does have it. I mean,
yeah. And I mean, this was the mirror that the other system was installed as.
Yeah.
Mir host name.
What is the full URL again? Can we see it on the other?
Yep. Let me go back to.
Try to. Okay. Ubuntu ports, and then we have multiverse restricted. So I think
I wonder if we need to turn on particular.
Because we had it in the TK-Ubuntu, we had multiverse, which we didn't copy into our own preseat.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need anything but the main. We can turn on the other ones, but I wonder if we need to do something to explicitly turn on even the base main.
Yeah.
That seems.
I think we need the main, because the architectures are under the main. So, and that's the one thing we didn't put into our own preseat.
Yeah, I'm looking here. Seems weird that wouldn't be enabled. Selecting the server task. Boot dev. Yeah, there's something funny, but yeah, if we look back here, let's just start at the top again. We have, okay, we have multiverse. We can try enabling multiverse.
Yeah. Can we jump to the TK-Ubuntu preseat to see what it says there?
Yep, that's where I am now.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So
that's okay.
Multi-select main. UDEP components. We have that.
Ooh, do we? Let's look.
No, we have it into TK-Ubuntu, but
yeah. So maybe that will get us,
because it's that string of the URL that's not working.
Right.
I guess we have to shut it down.
Yeah, let me. Oh, actually, let me go back. I'm curious. Execute a shell. CD etc. Do we have the apt config here yet? cdeb.conf default release. I'm curious if it has made the apt mirror file yet, and if we could see. But I think it's probably in the course of trying to build it, and so we're not seeing it here. Okay, and then there's, well, yeah. Let's just quit this. Okay. Oh, and we also need to double check that proxy line because it's still prompting us.
Still wrong. Yeah.
Ubuntu boot temp. Okay, so first, oh, I see what the problem is.
Yeah.
We need an HTTP proxy when we're using the HTTP protocol.
Yeah, that fixes it.
And so let's grab those other lines.
Main multi-select.
Yeah, so
Udebian.
udeb components.
Yeah, it feels like it wants it.
We'll see. Let's put these down here. So main, restricted. We may as well enable universe just so that all the packages are available.
Yeah.
For people to apt install after the fact.
Yes.
And we can also, there's this apt mir setup restricted Boolean true. We'll add that.
And yeah, overlay.
Yeah, I don't know what those overlay things are.
I think it's if there is, it asks you if there's any third party, non-open source.
That's what non-free gets you.
Oh, okay.
Apt mir setup. Let's just start the top again. Okay, so I'll add the multiverse line. So restricted enabled, multiverse enabled. That's HTTPS. Apt setup overlay Boolean false. Yeah, I don't know that we need to worry about overlay stuff. Mir no default true. We do want it to use a default. Or maybe we don't because we're providing... Maybe that's it. Maybe because we're using Debian ports, or not Debian ports, but Ubuntu ports and not the mainline.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe we need to tell it to actually not use the default and to use our settings.
Yes, could be.
This is all just...
I follow the logic.
I'm making this up as we go along, but it seems logical, right? And that we can actually put up here.
Yeah, a little bit higher up.
And directory I've set, host name, country doesn't matter. We're saying manual. FTP we're not using. I actually don't know that any of the apt mir setup lines are relevant. I think it's just these DI lines that are relevant.
Yeah.
Countries. Okay. We added the mirror suite select bionic. Yep. Yeah, and we saw in the URL it's using that it was trying to do that. So that's good. I guess we give it a try.
Yep. I don't know if we want to maybe just include those apt mirror because it needed it for that install. And since we don't know what it does, I don't think it can hurt if we put it there.
These
apt mirror setup.
Contrib non-free. What else is it doing? Backports true. Overlay components. This is turning on like PPA, Launchpad stuff.
Use mirror, non-free false.
I kind of want to not do any of those.
Okay.
And let me try something really. There's another utility here, which is how do I verify there's a utility that verifies the syntax. Although I don't think we're having
CP syntax on the
syntax problems, but let's see. Precede example. If I can't find it really quick here, we'll just skip it. Creating a precede file, right? Put a single, blah, 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 blah. More questions. Get selections. Okay. Oh, no. View template stat. To check the format of your precede, deb conf set selections -c. Yeah, that seems fine. Okay.
DB drive password.
I think that's your password. Yep.
Yeah. I need to go and change it.
There we go. Okay, so no errors in syntax at least. So what did we change? We fixed the proxy line. We added the couple of the apt mirror setups. We set, this components multi-select. Opting into the main repository does seem promising. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to try not doing any apt mirror setup. We'll just stick with Debian installer settings.
Okay.
And then I guess task cell. If this doesn't work, then I guess we just pull in all of the mirror setup prompts.
Yeah, but I feel it wasn't a mirror, like it wasn't a package manager issue. It was really just getting to the.
That's the thing. It was trying to build the apt sources list, and it wasn't able to find something it was looking for. Which
it wasn't getting to the right directory on the website.
Yeah. Okay. What was foo? Oh, okay. That was foo. We don't need foo anymore. Yeah. All right. A initRD original to initRD gzip. Unzip that. Enable write on that.
Yep. And
then our precede goes into that. We re-gzip it.
We read the size.
We copy it, or we move it back to the original location. And then we ls-l, and then we printf initRD.ubuntu. Okay. And then we try it.
Once again.
That's going to be ubuntu.ins.
And we know that Ubuntu 20.04 does not IPL on current Hyperion because of lacking instructions.
They moved the Linux kernel to a newer basically architecture level for
it needs the
Z
Z12.
architecture. Yeah.
So in particular, there's some vector instructions that we don't have, and those are very, very poorly documented in the principles of operation of the Z12. It used to be that principles of operation was always just documenting every little feature, and that worked. But they stopped doing that a while ago, and especially around crypto, which is understandable for national security reasons, but also many other instructions. Over the last 6 years or so, IBM has introduced, I think, 400 new instructions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The other day, I was reading on how to set up a network interface card, all the operations that go into configuring it, and it's a long list of items.
That
is
worked.
Yeah.
We didn't get the error, and it didn't prompt us for proxy.
But now it stopped again.
Well, no, the instruction counters. It's thinking.
Okay.
It's thinking.
One giant leap forward.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, now it's going.
Yeah.
This is disk IO. Yeah.
Or probably network IO, but yeah.
Network IO. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So it needed to know that we needed to opt into the main and restricted, whatever they're called in the Debian Ubuntu world.
And so here now it's going to take a long while before it actually does any disk IO. Still one IO, just sensing the disk.
Yeah. Loading additional components. So it may print out the progress percentages here. But this is as far as we got before, where it's downloading all these components and extracting them
here for a while. Yeah.
So we know this is the first long wait period for this installation. And then after that, it will either prompt us for questions or we will have given it the answers that it needs.
Yeah, I have a feeling that around the partitioning and the formatting, there's still a bunch of
it may prompt us. Yeah. We told it just auto partition scheme, but it may. Who knows what it may ask?
And also because the combination of factors that we have here, which is it's a mainframe installation, it's FBA, it's running inside Hercules, however, no network installed, so no SSH. So there's no documentation that I know of on the internet that has this 4 cases built into one pre-seed example.
Yeah.
It's not been done before.
In fact, I would be surprised if anybody has fully automated, pre-seeded an Ubuntu Bionic install on Hercules. That would surprise me.
I think we're at the stage where most people are still trying to get it done manually.
Yeah, just making it work manually is a lot of fun for people trying to get Linux installed in Hercules, and then they do it once and they don't need to do it again, so they don't move on to the pre-seed world.
And probably a good percentage of people. Oh, you were right. It's
giving us the progress bar.
And I suspect a good percentage of people who try the manual install will just get tired during the hours-long process and just abandon it.
Yep.
So it's still loading components. So this is going to go all the way to 100%.
So we have
about 3 minutes for 10%.
And I'm trying to remember in a typical Debian install if this stage is linear, right? Is this one of those ones where it gets to like 60% and 60% was getting all the files and the last 40% just takes 10 seconds because it's you know, just listing them all out.
And I was thinking the same thing. And from memory, I think it's not linear. So
yeah.
suddenly goes faster than towards the end.
So at this point, I think we'll probably just go ahead and speed up the video for the viewers to whenever it gets to the end of this stage.
Yeah. Yeah. So it looks like we're at 100%.
Yeah. So that didn't take as long as I thought it would. It kind of went slowly for the 10, 20, 30, 40%, but then it sped up quite a bit for the last half. So
yeah.
That's kind of consistent. I think if you do a manual install of Ubuntu or Debian this way, there's kind of the slow step of maybe downloading everything, and then it gets through it. All right. Well, we have discovered a question. So it's unhappy about the password we picked. Okay, so if we pick a stronger password, we won't get this prompt. So that's.
I think it would be good to just know what is the answer to that, so we can.
I guess, yeah, if we prompt the user for the password and build their password into the pre-seed file, this could happen. So use weak password, we'll want to be able to pass in the answer yes.
So yeah, there is one. So there is. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll tell it yes.
There is a Boolean for that.
For
user
now.
setup. I got it.
Okay, perfect. User setup. Okay, so we'll pretend we weren't asked that question. That doesn't worry me.
What's the next thing? Yeah.
So now it's thinking again. Probably extracting a bunch of packages it downloaded.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay, configure DASD. So this is definitely a mainframe specific question.
Yeah.
So the following access DASD error, please select each device you want to use one at a time. So if we search, before I answer this, if I go over to the tk-ubuntu pre-seed, and if I search for, I guess we want
00120.
Yeah, let's just edit it. In fact, if I just search for 120.
Yeah, there's one.
Yeah, so there's one. Choices 120. It's interesting that it's just showing up in comments. Is that because that's the prompt?
Yeah.
And if we just select finish, because there's only one, it chooses that by default. Is that what's happening here?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the following are available. Please select each device you want to use one at a time.
So we can try here if you say 2.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like you'd have to select 1. Right? I want to say I want to use this device.
Well, maybe it's pre-selected, and then we should do 2.
Maybe. I mean, that would make sense why in the other pre-seed file it's only... I guess I'll do that, and if it says you don't have any disks, then we'll know that we actually need to select something. And we'll see what happens next. So, okay, detecting disks and all other hardware.
So that was the answer.
And then we'll see if it actually is able to partition it.
We'll see very soon when the I/O starts to go.
Then I think we'll really be in business.
Yep. Then we're almost there. And as you said, there's going to be some questions probably towards the end if you want to really write the kernel the boot config into boot, but
we'll see what the questions are. I mean, again, right, there's no no disk drive detected. So yeah, I bet we do need to hit 1 on that previous question. So I think we can go back. It's interesting that it didn't show up in the other preseed file, though. Okay, it's thinking again. So what was that? That was number 9.
Configured there, yeah.
So if we say .1, we'll put a little star. Okay, yeah, configured.
Yeah.
And then .2.
So we'll see how we provide that value.
We'll have to figure that out. I wonder if this installed system will have it if we go in and generate the preseed.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll need to look at that.
The hardware here is very simple. There's a disk.
Yeah.
There's a network device. Okay.
Okay.
Drivers.
Loading additional components.
Okay, now let's see how many IOs it did to the disk. Oh, only 89.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's formatted yet.
No.
It's probably loading the partitioning tools and everything. Setting up the partitioner. Or starting up the partitioner. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, now it's starting to do some IOs. Looks like it's talking to the disk.
100%. Okay. Partition disks. So one of our options should have been to select use entire disk, but
and I'm surprised it didn't take.
Yeah, we say recipe atomic. We said method string regular. There must have been another option. So what we want is guided. Hold on, let me see. So partition disks, guided use entire disk.
And you wrote down the weak password as well. I have it in the my buffer.
Oh, and you already found the right setting for that.
Yeah, I have it in.
So let's say use entire disk. And it's asking for the disk, even though in one of these we did give it the disk device we wanted of dev.
But the good thing is it detected the FBA.
That's DA. Yeah, it detects the disk. It's FBA. It's the right size. So then it said select. Let's see, select disk to partition, and that's going to be the DASD .1.
It's thinking about partitioning it.
Yep. Okay, guided partitioning, and that's good. It seems to be doing that part automatically, at least, right? Because here's where it would have asked the question: do you want everything in one partition, or do you want a broken out home and var?
Yeah.
So I think it at least answered that question automatically.
You may still ask something about swap.
Okay, so now it's just asking for confirmation.
Yeah, and the file system. So
the partition tables are going to be changed. The following partitions are going to be formatted. Write the changes to disks. So basically, partition confirm.
And I think I saw the lines in the TK Ubuntu preseed for that.
Okay. Write the changes to disk. Yes. So that'll be .1.
Okay, now it's formatting.
Yep, the IO count's going up there.
Yep. Not much. But these are
start. Oh, there you go. Now we're at, now it's... There we go. Okay. Oh, I see there's another block here in another preset I'm looking at that's confirm, write new label, true, choose partition, select, finish, confirm, Boolean true, confirm, no overwrite, true, partman MD, confirm, true. So yeah, we can just put in a bunch of confirm trues for some of these things. Installing the base system. There we go. So now it should...
It's starting to install.
Yep. It's probably spending a lot of time unzipping stuff in memory, and then
Yeah,
occasional little bursts of write to disk.
exactly. Yeah. That's going to take hours now.
This is going to take a while. Yeah. Well, so this could be a good stopping point. I think at this point I'm tempted to, just let it continue and then see what the next prompt it asks for is. And then once we get through a complete installation, we'll both be able to go back and fix the couple of things we already know about in our pre-seed file, but then also look at the settings from within the system that we have installed and
Yeah.
see if
Once
there's
we're able to
anything that
log in.
stands out
Yeah.
that's different from that original TK Ubuntu pre-seed. And then we'll be able to update the pre-seed file once again and hopefully knock out all these last questions and then let it do another install for several hours and see if it is really automated.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's, as you said, that's a good breaking point, and then we'll resume once we have those other questions sorted out, and we see if we have a running system.
Yep, looking forward to it.
All righty. Well, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Moshix. All right. Well, as we talked about, Moshix and I went on our separate ways for the day at that point. We had literally been recording for the last 4 hours overnight. We started about midnight my time, about 2 a.m. For Moshix, and we recorded about 4 hours of material for video 1 and then this video 2 that you just saw. So that'll be cut down a little bit in editing, but it is it's a long process to work through all that troubleshooting and figure everything out. And then also, we were just enjoying talking with each other as well. So while there might have been just a lot of waiting for the computer to work that we could have cut out if it was just one of us doing the video alone, hopefully you enjoyed just the chatting back and forth in, again, what really was just a working session of the two of us working together to try and figure out how to make all this work. So as predicted, of course, after quite a bit of time, there were some more questions that installer prompted us for. So over the next week, Moshix and I both kept in touch over Discord and email, and we just kind of on our own worked through everything else that we needed to get the working pre-seed, and then also put together all of the scripts on the Linux side, the host Linux side, to automate everything. So in video 3, which will probably come out about a week from when this video 2 comes out, we will be back together on a call again, and we will be ready to present the finished product that we put together. So hopefully you're looking forward to that, and thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again in part 3.